Chapter 1. The Day My Future Was Stolen, Part 1, 500 Words. I walked across campus with the biggest smile I had worn in months. Graduation was only 3 weeks away, and every step felt lighter than the last. My phone buzzed, and Olivia's name appeared on the screen. "Where are you?" she asked. "I'm outside the library." "Why? Can we meet by the old oak tree? I need to talk." I laughed softly. "You sound serious." "I am. I'll be there in 5 minutes." I slipped my phone into my pocket, telling myself she was probably planning something for graduation. We had survived 4 difficult years together. Better days had to be waiting for us. When I reached the tree, Olivia stood alone, staring at the ground. I smiled. "Hey." She barely looked at me. "Hi." I frowned. "What's wrong?" "We need to talk." My heart skipped. "You already said that. You're scaring me." She folded her arms. "Ethan, I can't do this anymore." I blinked. "Do what?" "This relationship." I laughed nervously. "Very funny. I'm not joking." The smile disappeared from my face. "What happened?" I asked. "Nothing happened." "Then why are you saying this?" She took a slow breath. "I'm tired." "Tired of what?" "Tired of struggling." I stared at her, unable to understand. "We're almost done with college," I said. "Things are finally going to get better." "Will they?" "Of course. You don't know that. I know we'll work hard." She shook her head. "Hard work doesn't guarantee success. It gives us a chance." "I don't want a chance anymore." Silence settled between us. I forced a smile. "We've dreamed about this for years." "I know. We talked about getting an apartment together." "I remember. We promised we'd build everything from nothing." "I remember that too." "Then why are you acting like none of it matters?" She closed her eyes for a moment. "Because I'm scared." I stepped closer. "Scared of what?" "Being poor forever." "We won't be." "You can't promise that." "No, but I can promise I'll never stop trying." She looked at me with sad eyes. "Trying isn't enough for me anymore." My chest tightened. "So that's it? I don't want this life." "You mean you don't want me?" She didn't answer. I whispered, "Please say something." She finally met my eyes. "I deserve stability. We can build it together. I don't want to wait." I felt the ground disappear beneath me. "So you're leaving?" "Yes." "After everything?" "I'm sorry." "No," I said quietly. "You're not." A tear rolled down her cheek. "I never wanted to hurt you." "Then don't." "I can't." I swallowed hard. "Is there someone else?" She stayed silent. My voice cracked. "Olivia, answer me." She looked past my shoulder instead of at me. Before I could turn around, I heard slow footsteps approaching from behind. My stomach twisted for reasons I couldn't explain. Something inside me whispered that my life was about to change forever, and I prayed that feeling was wrong. Yet deep down, I already knew the truth was coming. Chapter 2. Turning Pain into Purpose, Part 1, 500 Words. Graduation came and went without celebration. While everyone else laughed, hugged, and posed for pictures, I packed my few belongings into 2 old boxes and walked away from campus without looking back. My phone stayed silent. Olivia never called. I finally accepted that the girl I loved had become nothing more than a painful memory. Daniel opened the apartment door before I knocked. "You look exhausted," he said. "I am." "Did you eat?" I forced a smile. "Coffee counts, right?" He sighed. "Sit down." "I don't have time." "You always say that." "I need a job." "You need dinner first." I dropped onto the couch. "I've sent 30 applications." "You'll send 30 more." "No one wants me." "That's not true." "Then why does everyone keep rejecting me?" "Because the right door hasn't opened yet." I rubbed my face. "I'm starting to think there isn't a door." Daniel handed me a plate. "There is." "You sound too confident." "I believe in you more than you believe in yourself." His words stayed with me the next morning as I walked into another interview. The manager barely looked at my resume. "Any experience?" "I just graduated. We're looking for someone with 3 years of experience." "How am I supposed to get experience if nobody hires me?" "I'm sorry." "No, you're not." He looked away. "Good luck." I walked out before he could say anything else. Outside, I kicked a small rock across the sidewalk. "This is pointless," I muttered. That evening, Daniel found me staring at unpaid bills. I got rejected again. I guessed. I'm tired. I know. I can't keep doing this. Yes, you can. What if Olivia was right? He frowned. Don't say that. What if love isn't enough? What if money really decides everything? Daniel sat beside me. Ethan, listen carefully. I'm listening. She left because she judged your future before it existed. It still hurts. It will. I keep hearing her voice. One day you won't. I don't know how. You replace the pain with purpose. I laughed bitterly. That sounds nice. It also works. The following weeks became a blur. Every morning I searched job boards. Every afternoon I attended interviews. Every evening I returned home disappointed. One rainy afternoon, I entered another office expecting another rejection. A gray-haired man looked up from his desk. You're Ethan Carter? Yes, sir. Sit. I sat quietly. He studied my resume for nearly a minute. You've had many interviews. Too many. But no offers. No. Why? I wish I knew. He leaned back. Maybe because you're answering the wrong questions. I frowned. What do you mean? He smiled slightly. Everyone asks what you know. That's normal. I want to know who you become when life keeps saying no. His question caught me completely off guard. For the first time in months, someone seemed interested in more than grades or experience. I looked into his steady eyes, took a slow breath, and realized this interview already felt completely different. Chapter 3, 5 years later, Part 1, 500 words. 5 years changed everything. The scared college graduate who once begged for love disappeared somewhere between endless meetings, sleepless nights, and impossible deadlines. Every morning, I unlocked the doors of Carter Dynamics before sunrise, reminding myself that success had been built one difficult day at a time. Victoria knocked on my office door. Good morning, Ethan. Morning, Victoria. Come in. She handed me a folder. Quarterly numbers. I opened it and smiled. We beat projections again. By 12%. Great work. You should congratulate yourself. I shook my head. We did this together. She laughed. That's why people enjoy working here. A second knock interrupted us. Sophia stepped inside carrying 2 cups of coffee. I guess you skipped breakfast. I was busy. You always say that. Because it's true. She placed 1 cup on my desk. Drink. Is that in order? It absolutely is. Victoria smiled. I'll leave you 2 before this becomes another argument. After she walked out, Sophia crossed her arms. When are you taking a vacation? I don't need one. You've said that for 3 years. The company comes first. And what about you? I'm fine. No, you're functioning. I laughed. There's a difference? A huge one. She leaned against the desk. You built an incredible company. We built it. You still avoid giving yourself credit. I just remember where I started. She looked at me carefully. You still think about her. I stayed quiet. You don't have to answer. I don't think about Olivia every day anymore. But sometimes... Sophia nodded gently. That's progress. I guess. You don't sound convinced. I spent years believing she destroyed my future. And now? Now I know she accidentally built it. She smiled. I like that answer. My phone buzzed. Victoria's name appeared. Excuse me. I answered immediately. What's up? We've finalized the acquisition. Already. The paperwork is complete. Excellent. The transferred employees arrived this morning. I'll welcome them personally. I thought you would. I ended the call and stood. Sophia picked up her coffee. Nervous? Not really. Liar. I laughed. Maybe a little. You'll be fine. Thanks. Go make a good first impression. 30 minutes later, I walked toward the largest conference room in the building. Voices filled the hallway. New employees waited inside, talking quietly while reading company brochures. Victoria greeted me. Everyone's ready. Let's begin. She opened the door. Conversation stopped instantly. More than 20 unfamiliar faces turned toward me. I smiled. Good morning, everyone. Several people nodded politely. My name is Ethan Carter. I paused for a second. I know today feels uncertain, but I promise every person here will receive a fair opportunity. We value effort, honesty, and teamwork above everything else. The room remained silent. I slowly looked across each face. Then my heartbeat suddenly stopped. Near the back of the room sat a woman holding a notebook against her chest. Her eyes widened. Mine did too. Olivia Brooks. 5 years disappeared in a single breath. She looked as shocked as I felt. Neither of us spoke. Neither of us moved. The room faded around me while memories I had buried crashed back without warning. The difference was painfully clear now. I was standing at the front as the company's CEO, and she was sitting quietly among the newest employees, waiting for my next words. Chapter 4. The Woman Who Couldn't Escape Her Past, Part 1. 500 words. The morning after our first meeting, I walked into the office determined to act like nothing had happened. I had spent 5 years building my company, and I refused to let old memories control me again. Victoria entered my office carrying a tablet. Your schedule is full. I expected that. The transferred team starts orientation today. Good. She hesitated. Is something wrong? I looked at her. Why would you ask? You seemed distracted yesterday. I'm fine. She nodded slowly. If you need anything, let me know. I will. An hour later, I walked through the development department. Employees greeted me with smiles. Good morning, Mr. Carter. Morning. Have a great day, sir. You too. As I reached the last row of desks, I saw Olivia organizing files. She stood immediately. Good morning, Ethan. I answered calmly. Good morning, Ms. Brooks. She looked down. May I speak with you? If it's work-related. It isn't. Then this isn't the place. I only need 5 minutes. I have a meeting. She took a slow breath. I'm sorry. I kept my voice professional. If you have project questions, send me an email. Ethan, please. This conversation is over. I walked away without looking back. Inside the elevator, I closed my eyes. Hearing my name in her voice still hurt more than I wanted to admit. When I reached the executive floor, Sophia noticed my expression. You look upset. I'm fine. You've used that sentence twice this week. I mean it. She smiled gently. No, you don't. I sat across from her. She tried to apologize. And I refused. Because you hate her? I thought for a moment. I don't know. You should figure that out. I'm not interested in reopening old wounds. You already reopened them the moment she walked into this building. I sighed. I can't let personal feelings affect business. Good. That's exactly what I intend to do. Later that afternoon, my assistant announced another visitor. Emma Brooks is here. I frowned. Emma. She says it's personal. Send her in. The door opened, and Olivia's younger sister stepped inside. She smiled nervously. It's been a long time. It has. I wasn't sure you'd remember me. I remember. She looked around my office. You've done well. I worked hard. I know. She became quiet. I came because Olivia won't tell you the truth. I don't need explanations. I think you do. I crossed my arms. Go ahead. Emma lowered her voice. Mason left her. I remained silent. He lost almost everything after his father's company collapsed. I blinked. What happened? He blamed Olivia for his problems. She looked at the floor. One day, he packed his bags and disappeared. And she lost her home. I said nothing. She couldn't find work for months. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She sold almost everything she owned just to survive. A strange feeling settled inside me. Part of me whispered that karma had finally arrived. Another part remembered the girl who once dreamed beside me under an old oak tree. Emma looked directly into my eyes. I'm not asking you to love my sister again. What are you asking? Please don't judge who she is today by the worst decision she made years ago. Chapter 5. Karma Doesn't Need My Help. Part 1. 500 words. 3 days passed after Emma visited my office. Her words refused to leave my mind. I kept telling myself the past no longer mattered. Yet every time I saw Olivia working quietly at her desk, I remembered the life we almost built together. That afternoon, Victoria knocked softly. Ethan, Ms. Brooks is asking to see you. I looked up. Is it about work? No. I stayed silent for a moment. Send her in. A minute later, Olivia stepped inside, and closed the door behind her. Thank you for seeing me. You have 5 minutes. She nodded. I don't expect forgiveness. I didn't ask why you came. I came because I'm tired of hiding. I folded my hands. Then tell the truth. She took a deep breath. I loved you. I didn't answer. I know you don't believe me. I don't know what to believe. I never lied about loving you. Then why did you leave? Tears filled her eyes. I was afraid. Afraid of me? No. Then what? I was afraid of spending my whole life worrying about bills. I looked at her quietly. Mason promised everything. What exactly? A beautiful house. What else? Financial security. And he said I'd never have to struggle again. I let out a slow breath. So you believed him? Yes. You traded love for money. I thought I was choosing stability. You were choosing fear. She lowered her head. I know. I stood and walked toward the window. You didn't even give us a chance. I was selfish. You broke me. I know. I questioned my own worth because of you. I'm sorry. I spent years wondering what was wrong with me. There was never anything wrong with you. I turned to face her. Then why wasn't I enough? She wiped away another tear. Because I wasn't strong enough. Silence filled the room. Finally, she whispered. Mason changed after I moved in with him. What happened? He controlled everything. I listened without interrupting. He decided who I could see. She looked down. He laughed whenever I mentioned you. My jaw tightened. He kept saying poor people deserve to stay poor. And you stayed? I thought things would improve. They didn't. She shook her head. When his family's business started failing, he blamed everyone except himself. She smiled sadly. Especially me. What happened next? He packed one suitcase. And he walked out. Just like that. He said I was useless. I closed my eyes for a second. The words sounded painfully familiar. She looked at me. I finally understood what I did to you. Before I could answer, my office phone rang. Victoria's voice came through immediately. Ethan, there's someone downstairs demanding a meeting. Who? Mason Reed. I stared toward the door. What does he want? He says he has a business proposal that will make both companies rich. I smiled without happiness. Send him to the boardroom. Olivia looked terrified. Please be careful. I will. She stepped aside as I walked toward the door. This time I wasn't meeting the man who stole my girlfriend. I was meeting a desperate businessman who had already started losing everything because of his own choices. Chapter 6. The Choice That Defined Me. Part 1. 500 words. The meeting with Mason ended exactly as I expected. My legal team rejected his dishonest proposal, and within days the authorities began investigating his company. I felt no excitement watching his empire collapse. For the first time in years, revenge no longer interested me. 2 evenings later, I stayed late reviewing reports when someone knocked on my office door. Come in. Olivia stepped inside. I'm sorry for coming without an appointment. It's fine. Do you have a few minutes? I do. She closed the door quietly. I've been thinking about our last conversation. So have I. She looked nervous. I need to ask one question. I'm listening. She took a slow breath. Could you ever forgive me? I didn't answer immediately. Instead, I looked out the window at the city lights. 5 years ago, I would have answered with anger. Now I wasn't so sure. She waited patiently. Finally, she spoke again. If the answer is no, I'll understand. I turned toward her. Do you know what the hardest part was? What? It wasn't losing you. Confusion crossed her face. It wasn't. No. Then what was it? Losing myself. She stayed silent. For years I believed I wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. I kept asking why I wasn't worth fighting for. You were. I didn't believe that. I know. I walked closer. I carried that pain everywhere. I never wanted that. I know you didn't. She looked surprised. You do? Yes. I smiled sadly. I finally realized something. What? Hating you kept me connected to the worst day of my life. A tear rolled down her cheek. I never thought about it that way. I was still letting the past control me. She whispered, So, what happens now? I took a deep breath. I forgive you. She covered her mouth. You do? Yes. After everything? Not because you earned another chance. Her eyes filled with tears. Then why? Because I deserve peace. She began crying quietly. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I'm so sorry, Ethan. I believe you. Hope appeared on her face. Does that mean? I gently shook my head. No. She lowered her eyes. I understand. Our story ended 5 years ago. I know. I can forgive what happened. I understand, but I can't pretend it never happened. I wouldn't ask you to. I'll always wish things had been different. So will I. Silence settled between us. For the first time, it didn't feel painful. It felt honest. She wiped away her tears. Thank you. Take care of your future. I will. And stop punishing yourself forever. She gave a small nod. I'll try. After she left, Sophia walked into my office carrying another stack of files. She looked at me carefully. You seem lighter. I am. You talked to Olivia? Yes. How did it go? I forgave her. Sophia smiled warmly. I was hoping you'd choose peace. I finally did. She placed the files on my desk. That decision says more about your character than your success ever could. I looked toward the closed door and realized something had quietly changed inside me. The weight I had carried for 5 long years was finally gone, leaving room for a future no longer controlled by yesterday. Chapter 7. My greatest victory was letting go. Part 1. 500 words. Several months passed before our annual company celebration arrived. Looking around the decorated ballroom, I could hardly believe how much our company had grown. Hundreds of employees filled the room with laughter, conversations, and hope. Years ago, I had dreamed about building something meaningful. Tonight, that dream stood right in front of me. Victoria walked onto the stage beside me. Ready for your speech? I smiled. As ready as I'll ever be. She laughed. You still get nervous. I don't think that feeling ever disappears. It keeps you humble. I hope so. She handed me the microphone. They're waiting. I nodded and stepped forward. The applause echoed across the room. Good evening, everyone. More applause followed. I want to thank each of you. The room became quiet. This company wasn't built by one person. Several employees smiled. It was built by people who believe that honesty, hard work, and respect still matter. Cheers filled the ballroom. I couldn't be prouder to stand beside all of you. The applause grew louder. After finishing my speech, I stepped down from the stage. Daniel walked toward me with a huge smile. I'm proud of you. Thanks. I told you the right door would open. I laughed. You never stopped believing. I never had a reason to. Benjamin joined us. I see the same determination I noticed during your first interview. You changed my life. No. He shook his head. You changed your own life. I smiled. You simply pointed me in the right direction. He placed a hand on my shoulder. And you never stopped walking. Across the ballroom, I noticed Olivia talking with several coworkers. She looked confident. She smiled naturally. For the first time since we met again, I didn't feel pain while looking at her. I simply wished her well. Emma walked over carrying 2 glasses of juice. She's doing better. I can see that. Thank you. For what? You treated her fairly. I treated her like every employee. That's exactly why I'm thanking you. I accepted 1 glass. She earned her place. Emma smiled. She knows that. Nearby, Victoria congratulated another department on a successful project while employees celebrated around her. Watching everyone together filled me with quiet satisfaction. Sophia suddenly appeared beside me. You've been surrounded by people all evening. I noticed. Mind if I steal you for 5 minutes? Not at all. We walked onto the balcony overlooking the city. The skyline shimmered beneath the evening sky. She leaned against the railing. You've been smiling all night. I guess I have. You finally look peaceful. I finally feel peaceful. She looked at me. What changed? I smiled at the lights stretching across the city. I stopped measuring my life by what I lost. And now I measure it by everything I built. She reached for my hand. I looked down before gently holding hers. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. The silence didn't feel awkward. It felt like the beginning of something honest. For the first time in many years, I wasn't thinking about the woman who had once broken my heart. I was thinking about the future waiting in front of me, and I finally believed I deserved every beautiful moment that was still to come.